It's showtime.
Welcome back, guys. So we finished up with Korriban, and we're moving on to the next place. I'm actually had to revisit the Tatooine for like the third or fourth time now, just to wrap some things up, and then I promise I'm gonna be done with Tatooine. Okay, this is the last time I'll be at Tatooine. Then I'm just gonna be moving the frick on. Okay, I'm just gotta. There's at least 2 or 3 quests I have to finish up here, and then I will be done with Tatooine for sure. So I'm gonna talk to my teammates first. And then I'll go to Tatooine, finish that up, and at the end you'll see a little bit of Manon towards the end. So we're talking to Karth now, and he's very conflicted on finding out we're Revan. He still doesn't trust us at all. He still hates us, but he's slowly coming around, and it's going to take some time too. And the next planet, I would say, you'll find out. So then I talked to some my other teammates, just gauge how they feel about me being Revan.
Got something on you? Not particularly. I suppose you're going to nag me until I cough it up, aren't you? Nothing is private anymore. There's no escaping it, I guess. My wife's name was Neyama. She was the Yukatis enforcer who shot me out of the sky, if you remember. My wife had plenty to do with the war. Upon meeting her, I knew right away that she was strong in the Force. That's why she was able to shoot me down. Neyama was a marvel of a woman. Fiery, determined, smart. She dragged me to the capital and foiled 3 of my attempts to escape prison. Oh, and that body. Well, yes, that. Needless to say, I eventually won her over. That was after I kidnapped her upon being broken out of the Yukatis prison, mind you. But, that's another story entirely. At any rate, I wanted to train her in the Jedi way. The Council refused my request, naturally. I was still a Padawan at the time. I was an experienced Padawan, surely, but not yet ready to be a full Jedi, and certainly not ready to train another, especially not one so old as my wife. I did. I wasn't the first, and I won't be the last. The problem with self-righteous folk is they think they're more right than everyone else. I believed in her and trained her in secret. I ignored her willful nature. I loved her too much to see fault in her. And she loved me too. I know she did. At the time, our love was a shared bliss. Better than anything I had known before or since. Exar Kun is what happened. Neyama was inspired by Exar's promises of a new golden age.
Joining with Exar Kun would end up being going towards the dark side, so yeah, not good.
Decrepit trappings of the Jedi to join her in Exar's war. I hadn't thought so, not right then. I was too proud to believe that of her. I had trained her myself. I loved her. I pleaded with her to reconsider, to think about all that she was throwing away, to think about what she would become. She would have none of it. Finally, in frustration, she attacked me. She drew her lightsaber and attempted to strike me down.
So there are very few times when actual Jedi Masters,
Pupil against master.
Jedi Masters would actually betray the Jedi and actually leave the Jedi Order. There's actually only been 12, including Count Dooku. But there have been Jedi Knights, you know, like Exar Kun, Ulik, you know, even though he came back, that actually ended up betraying the Jedi and went to the dark side, but not actual Jedi Masters. So you'd think they would be more intelligent because of that. But there have been some Jedi Masters who have left the Jedi Order for the dark side, or just left completely because they hate it all.
I grieved for her death, inevitable as it was, even as the Jedi Council put me on trial for my actions once the war was over. I had trained Neyama against their wishes. I had failed to kill her when I had the chance, and she went on to kill others. Not to mention that I had remained a Padawan throughout the war. A formality, perhaps, but with the trial, it had to be decided if I was worthy to become a Jedi at all. It was a travesty, of course. I told you that even the Jedi were capable of great injustices, didn't I? deserved to be tried. They found me innocent, even though I deserved every punishment and more. They let me go. Mitigating circumstances, they said. They said I had learned wisdom the hard way. For all I had done during the war, they wished to raise me to full Jedi. That was when the Jedi left me. That was when they failed me. No, maybe you don't at that. They may have been able to forgive me. Yes, I do, I suppose.
So it's a bit of a sad story, I would say. Definitely something I will explore a little bit more later on.
Let's continue on with the task.
I've been given a challenge I can't ignore. The sooner we get...
Statement.
So you can actually do fighter simulations too, so you can fight out against like Sith warships and just fight with them if you wanted to, just by going to HK-47. It's something that I've just skipped over for the last couple videos. I don't think it's worth putting at this point. They're all the same. But, you know, it is what it is. I wanted to show a few times that I did have it, so I did show it in the previous video. So there is that. I won't be showing it anymore though.
You have a concern for life. This cannot solely be caused by memory loss. I do not know how to explain it. Regardless, you do seem to be improved. Answer. No, Master. Answer. It was you. Your pupil once asked me what I thought of him, and I informed him of his meatbag status. He was unimpressed. But you changed my programming so that I would continue to use the term.
So Malik was the original meatbag.
Well. Commentary. Your former pupil is efficient and brutal. If I had known what he would do to you, Master, I would have As you desire.
How can you possibly... the Jedi whose troops saved me on Taris? It was Revan, leading an army out to defeat the Mandalorian. I knew when I heard that you had become the Dark Lord. The man who saved me could never... It is good to know that you have truly... I do not think now that I will fall to the dark side. I only... Yes, that is true. I will never forget what you did for me.
Whoa, man, don't be saying that out loud. Come on. And I'm not the Dark Lord anymore. Come on.
Tag bis tu bonko koki makbanka. Ching para chiska mule tunara. Kuyami juz chikata na patoga ya hulki kokogala jiji. Shagji locha wana wama? Kava volpa mulji gumana. Kinshun shishineng che. Manaman atota. Hakki jukrata bola shui tongatong. Tong haitwam jiji jumblumpa. Nita poe tikito. Dolpa da bongwaleo. Ka chikun ita hodonga. Yiking kuno bamu. Chi gratu loda. Pograshi onion komba chintono mutong abong sha umni.
So he sells pretty much rare items, so I'm gonna have to look at the shop sometime. So he's on, just go to Dresden Cantina. So we're gonna go to the Zerka office and ask for Mission's brother, where the hell he's been.
Greetings again from the Griff. There's no Griff here.
Oh,
Never
come
heard of
on.
him.
You can
No,
tell me.
I
You
don't
know.
remember a single
This, come on.
Can you spare me a few moments? I have something I want to get off my chest. I want to tell you about one of our workers. We hired that Twi'lek some time ago. Not a good worker, according to his crew. He entered false timesheets and slept through his shifts. We even suspected him of stealing Zerka Corporation supplies, although we could We would have fired him, but we needed workers. It would have been better for him if he had been fired. Then he was lost in a Sand People raid we suffered not too long ago. In the end, it just wasn't cost-effective to keep searching. All miners sign a waiver absolving Zerka Corp. We didn't find his body,
Alright, so we have to go to the
Sand
Sand People
That's all I can tell
Enclave
you. I
and
shouldn't even
persuade
send
the
this much.
Tusken leader to free Griff.
As I said, all employees have signed waivers. I suppose you could apply for special dispensation from the Zerka Corporation representative kiosk on Coruscant. Farewell.
Hey there, what can I do? Talk! What is there to talk? Griff may be a slime. I knew I could count. Hey there, what can I do? It seems to me that if you don't really remember anything about being I don't see the Sith Lord standing here. I see a friend who's been with us through thick and thin. Big Z and I will stick by you.
So here's the slime bag Griff.
I'm a high-ranking executive at the Zerka Corporation. There's a big reward if you take me back to Anchorhead.
Griff, don't you recognize me? It's Mission.
Mission? Is it really you? I heard Taurus was destroyed. I thought you were dead. Oh, joy of joys, my little sister is alive.
I have to ask you something, Griff. It's important. I ran into Lena. She said it was your idea to leave me on Terrace. It isn't true, is it?
Well, there's the truth and then there's the truth, you know? I always meant to go back to Taurus just as soon as I had the credits to pay off my debts. But credits have been hard to come by.
You mean it's true? It was your idea to leave me there? I'm your sister.
So this guy is just a sleaze bag and a gambler, and he left Mission on purpose.
You knew how to take care of yourself. Besides, you're here now. I mean, everything worked out fine.
That's it? That's all you have to say to me after all these years, after deserting me on Terrace?
Well, that and, could you please get me out of here? You got a tough-looking friend there.
We'd be risking everything just to get you out. That doesn't bother you?
You can't abandon me here. These Sand People, they're animals.
And you better appreciate it.
You know I do, Mission. You know I do. Honest this time.
Query. What? Clarification. Translation. Translation. He says that by his very presence, this
Yep. That
extrapolation. I would assume we are.
That would be Griff. That's how much they're like, okay, you can take him. The Tuskens are like, we're not. Usually they hold on to their prisoners, but they're like, with Griff, they're like, whatever, just fucking take him.
You've come to let old Griff out, right? Right? I don't want to beg, but I'm more than willing.
you can just keep waiting, Griff. We'll get you out of there when it...
We used to be so close, sis. Now, I know we've had our differences, but I really need to get out of here now. No fooling.
Yeah, you can find your way from there, right? Can you manage that? What? Is there something else?
Well, I wanted to thank you, and, you look like you're doing well. Financially, I mean. Say, could you spare me a few credits to get back on my feet?
You're hitting me up for credits. I don't believe this. Lena was right about you, Griff. We should have just left you to the Sand People. Don't talk to me anymore. Ever.
That didn't go well. Sis was always a little too fiery for her own good. She'll cool down in time. She'll be okay. We had our fights before. Too bad, though. I really could have used a helping hand right now. You may have saved my life, but I don't have a single credit to my name. Say, you wouldn't be able to spare me some credits, just till I get back on my feet, you know? That's it, huh? Figured you'd be able to spare a bit more than that. And, you know, I'll take whatever
Oh,
I can
fuck
get.
you.
Don't
Just
worry
take the
about me.
fucking credit
I've
to be
already got a
appreciative.
job
I freed you from the
Three
Tuscans.
to the
I
minute
give you 100
circus
fucking
supply
credits,
shops that I could
and
come
then
work
you're
for
still
them
like,
if I ever get
this
tired of
just
the
shows how
market.
fucking
I
terrible
think I'll
Griff
go
is.
take him up on his offer. You know, maybe there's something else you can help me with. I need to talk to a guy first and set up the details, but if you're interested in a job, come see me and greet a shop. Goodbye, Mission. I'm glad you're not dead. Ah, just the person I was hoping.
Save it, Griff. I'm not talking.
Okay, sis, I see you're still mad. Fair enough. I don't think you can help me with this anyway. It's more of a job for you. As you may know, tack glands can be refined to a very potent powder.
Alright, so tack glands are from Cashier. Unfortunately, I did not do that quest when it pertains to hunters, so I don't actually have any tack glands, so I'm not going to be able to complete this quest at all. So in the end, I end up just not even completing this quest whatsoever, and I was just like, okay, whatever, it's done. So I didn't even end up completing this quest at all. I just talked to him, and that's it. So I skipped this quest altogether because I don't want to just go around and fighting those tack things and get the glands. And I just, yeah, I don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it anymore. So I just ended up skipping this altogether and moving on to Candace's thing.
I'm your brother. I'm family. You can't turn your back on me.
Forget it, Griff. I'm not falling for that line again. You'll have to find your own way out of this mess.
You bring me a single tack gland, and you not only save my life, but you get a piece of this great business opportunity. I mean...
Alright, so we're gonna go fight Candace's foe, Jaggy, and see where it goes.
Ah, so you managed to come after all. I see you brought friends.
You brought some of your own as well.
Ha! Indeed I did. I foresaw that you might need help, so I arranged a distraction. I do not need to hear your excuses, Jedi. I know why he brought you.
Enough of this talk, Jaggy. Let's do what we came here to do.
We both know the stakes here, and we both know what we must do.
This is a matter of honor. I cannot... He has slandered me and questioned my honor. Among the Mandalore, many have died for lesser insults.
I speak truth, and honor is the question here. The deaths of my comrades, your warriors, is a debt in blood that can only be paid by you. When you saw prospects for glory, you abandoned the plan and left us to die surrounded by enemies.
If I had not attacked when I did, the battle would not have been won so easily.
It would still have been won. You sent your own men to die there, Candace. I cannot forgive you for what you did to us. You will pay.
That's not the way it happened. The Althiri were fighting hard. I saw a break in their defenses that left their center exposed. I had to take the chance. If I had not done what I did, many more warriors would have died and the battle would have taken much longer. I stand by my decision.
You coward. You glory hunter. You were given direct orders and were part of a plan. You had a responsibility to us.
I can regret their loss, but it was necessary.
Okay, so you can persuade him, but yeah, I'm not gonna force persuade him because Candace wants to kill him anyway. So we just end up fighting him. I don't know if you can actually persuade him, like if you have a good enough persuade skill where you can actually resist the temptation to fight altogether. And that's something that would not go well for Candace either. I think that would really piss him off even more. So I think this is probably a better choice. But in the end, after we're done fighting, maybe it's not at the same time. I don't know what's up with that loud beep too. That was just fucking weird.
I think this has affected me in ways I didn't anticipate.
So yeah, he's pretty shook up about it, just killing one of his guys right there. So we're moving on, and we're gonna open this box, which we're not supposed to open the box, and just find out what's in the box. So, this is a Rakatan inside the box. His mind is stuck in the box, and he's a prisoner there. So this is the actual box that was actually supposed to be sent to the hut, and I'm not supposed to open it whatsoever. And if I didn't open it, nothing would have happened. I would have gotten credits either way. But this is now radically different because I opened the box and I find out that this is in here.
Jebedwana ni bobo, tonga bong shanong yang, tong patoga takonjostak miki grabel mogo, kachicho ita haudonga, tolpa de bong walia gando, rondi haudonga kuhonga bi, wala kumbes, cheng palamuli tong king ba no. Yinkin kuno ba, molera chikon, kipuna, bonanai kachu, king ba mulira duana, tong king ba no kun, manama tota. Akuji gratong bola jeshwa konatong. Rondi haudonga kuhonga bi, tong haiwam jiji yumalitha ag inko tu.
So we basically have to answer a certain amount of questions, and I'll have to look them up as well online and figure out these questions. And once we figure out the questions, and if we pass, we can actually go back to our body. And if we don't, then he would take over our body and we would die in the process. And we'd be stuck in the prison instead of him.
Jashak bogra olwa cheskat nekchu. Achuba cheskama don pa kulpa ye mo kapata. Jebedwana ni bobo. Tonga bong shano.
So I had to look at these, had to Google these just to find out what the hell the answers were, because I had no idea.
Molira aswaktorong onipotaga wanaga konteze ekratok haku jijia wata yuma kipuna kava don achuta shachi kien lorcha wata wama kava volve achuta manga kumbis dolpe kikunyana don patoga smaktelia.
Don't know why he didn't say this one. I guess there was like an error, a bug or something.
Yinkin kuno ba molera shakon achuta manga kun. Manama tota akuji gratong bola tuniporo rana prata domkus.
It's one. I'm the only one flying to Tatooine. So I fooled him on that one. Are you ready to return? Before I go, what's your name? I've completely forgotten. I guess I've been here so that he forgot. He didn't even know his name. I could destroy your prison once and for all if you wish. I think that's a light side choice if you destroy the prison, because that way he will be released from just the prison itself, and because thousands of years in the jail, like, that's just wrong, man. But your species... Besides, I'm not ready to explode into... Oh, he's not ready. Okay. I could try to find... don't worry, I'm sure someone else will be able to... You know, you'll trick somebody else. Like the hut? Oh yeah, you'll trick him easily. So the game is won. And we deliver the box. Fine. He still does the force persuade like hand wave, even though I did persuade, which is really interesting. I mean, like, I don't get that. I mean, it's just regular persuade, so I don't know why you should shake your hand about that.
Oh, that was not
So
until
it's
many years later.
yeah, it doesn't make sense, but oh well.
I spent quite some time wandering the galaxy. Why wouldn't they? I had refused my promotion to Jedi. I was a Padawan who had left the Order, nothing more. I traveled from one
So
civilization
Joe Lee
to
was a
the next,
Padawan
never
when he
stayed
left.
long.
I always thought he was a
I
knight
didn't
for some
think I
reason,
knew
but
what I
he was
certain. It wasn't as if my travels were pleasant either.
a
There were
Jedi
plenty of folks
Padawan.
who distrusted
But at
the
this
Jedi
point
after
in his
the war.
career, like he's a
If people were
freaking
treating me with
Jedi
suspicion,
master.
they were
I
looking
mean,
at
just
me
the way
with
he is
greed.
now.
I
Old
don't
man,
know how many thought
like
they
he's.
could make
I
use
think
of
he's
me
pretty
for
much
their own
mastered the
ends.
Force
I
and
got so
pretty adept
sick
at
of the
that.
treachery and deceit. I left the civilized parts of the galaxy. Actually, I was on my way somewhere else when I crash-landed on Kashyyyk. The ship I was using was a rust bucket. I'd taken some damage passing through an unexpected asteroid field, as I recall, but I wasn't completely without some systems. I could still guide her a bit when I crashed. It wasn't what I would call the smoothest landing, especially considering I ended up smack in the depths of the Shadowlands. But I'm no mechanic, and besides, after you plunge nose first in the trunk of a 5-kilometer-high tree, chances are you don't have much ship left. Sure, why not? Seemed like an interesting enough place to spend a couple of decades exploring. That was a challenge at first. You've seen the kind of creatures that exist now. I was still able to rely on the Force to keep me safe for the most part. The rest of the trick is keeping out of the way of most of the predators. Oh, that's true. Still, most of the creatures grow accustomed to me, and I to them. At least none of them ever heard of it. Oh, they did at first, oh yes. I can't say I was overly pleased to encounter a group of indigenous giant carpets either, I can assure you of that. No, no. I was the intruder in their land, after all. They got to trust me well enough after a couple of decades of my aid. When I could, I would assist a few young ones who would get lost in the Shadowlands or attacked unexpectedly by the wildlife. I must say, for a while there, the Wookiees actually thought I was some kind of benevolent forest god. Amusing, really. At first, when the slavers took to hunting down lone Wookiees in the fringes of the Shadowlands, I did my best to divert them. Later, when Shundar made his deal, I didn't see any point. I wasn't here to save them from their own sad follies after... Nonsense. I had no idea that's what they were thinking for a long time. I just thought they were being friendly neighbors. Later, when I started to understand some of their grunting, I realized they would say prayers to the Hairless One before... Hairless One. I used to have plenty of hair, I tell you. At any rate...
Oh, Hairless One, save us!
I traveled to Rookwaro and met with the chieftain in front of everyone. Freyr swatted at me just to see if I was real or not. I was real, and while it was a light swat, Wookiees are terribly strong. I was knocked out cold for a day. The Wookiees all thought it was quite funny. At first, when the slavers... Later, when Shundar... Not really. Kashyyyk is a place you can feel very... What can I say? I did it all for the Wookiees. The Wookiees. Well, okay, maybe I needed some time on See? Now you know how I... At any rate, we should be moving along, don't you think? If you sat around this long in the shadow...
Yeah, what do you want? This thing with Joggy, is there something else? Working for Davik was like driving a spike through the side of your head. Sure, you got something new in there, but in the end, you're beating up people who wouldn't or couldn't pay, strong-arming his competitors, killing who he said. Assassin, mercenary. Those are names people give guys like me who do the killing to make us seem better or worse in their eyes. I've killed many people. I can't say I'm proud of it, but I have. Criminals, competitors, businessmen, police, women, children. Jedi were a better challenge, but they hardly ever poked around in the Undercity, until you came along. But I never wanted to challenge you. Never felt the need. Yeah, probably. You probably would have beaten... Maybe you would have. But you're not who you were back then. I remember a time when I could do anything I wanted. Kill, maim, but now... In a Mandalorian. I'm not even sure what that is anymore. The Mandalorian are gone, defeated by the Republic and swept away by time. I look back and regret all the chances I had as a warrior. And then all the chances I've had since then. I shouldn't be getting like this. Not when so many other things are happening, but... It feels like something has changed inside and I don't know what it is. This is unbecoming a warrior. Let's get on with everything before I start getting sentimental. Is there something else? Your choice.
So I went to Kashyyyk and experienced this bug for some reason. I just went there for no apparent reason, just so I can get this quest over with, dealing with Juhani and this guy named Jor. I reloaded the save plenty of times. Tried to do this so many freaking times. I switched teammates, and as soon as I landed, I went out of the ship, and he was just waiting right there. So instead of just going into Kashyyyk, coming back, and I tried this a second time, he's just waiting there, and I cannot talk to him at all. So I'm trying to talk to him, nothing's working. With me or Juhani, nothing. So I ended up just going to Manon anyway, and we will actually end up talking to him this time around. But... You know, Kashyyyk, it just didn't work. It just bugged out. It was very weird. You listen to my story, damn it!
What's the best way for me to approach this? You just keep quiet there, you. I've had to put up with all your busybody questions, haven't I? Well, now you listen to a story, damn it! Now, where was I? Oh, yes, the story. Now then, a young man sees a terribly venomous snake in his small village. Nervous, the young man follows the snake into the forest. Clears the branches out of its path and helps it over obstacles. He even works. Shush! Many nights pass, and still the young man continues to follow the snake. He even follows it into the sands of the great desert. In the desert, the snake eventually grows hungry. It turns and bites the young man, its poison quickly working its way into his system. Finally, curious, the snake looks at the boy as he lays dying and asks, "Why were you foolish enough to follow me all the way out into the desert?" The boy looks back and replies, "Did I follow you? I thought I was leading you away from everyone else." Well, now, that's what I wanted to see. I've come a long way as it is, and I'm going to die anyway, so that doesn't bother. I've told you before that you have a destiny before you. This does not mean, however, that your future is already written. They are not the same thing. You have the choice of which direction you take your destiny in. More than engine sucking. So far, you've chosen to take the lighter path. Can you stay that course? I'm not here to judge you or I do that because I think it's important. More important than remaining in my home. I'm rather glad I came too, really. You're a fine young lad. I hope things turn out well for you. Now then. Chatted enough for one.
Alright, so we're finally going to Manon for once, guys. We're finally doing it. This should be one of the last of the star map planets we'll have to go to, and then from there we will go to the very last levels. But Manan is going to be, I think, 3 or 4 parts at least. There's going to be a lot dealing with that planet, I would say. It's actually a pretty interesting world, I would say. Not as great as Korriban, in my opinion, but it's still pretty damn good.
Yes, what's on your mind? Manan's a neutral world. They're the only source of KOTOR, the healing fluid, and they use that to remain free from both. That's all I can think of.
So here is Jor. He wants to kill Juhani, or wants to get Juhani so badly. So we're gonna end up fighting him. I'm actually gonna end up making a mistake towards this because I don't know, for some reason, and I actually ended up going into my ship instead. So instead of fighting, trying to fight the cell cat, I actually end up going into the ship instead. So I had to finish off the cell cat, and then I had to face off against.
You seem to have defeated me, Cat there, worm. But I'll have the last laugh in the end.
What do you mean?
The guy is fucking messed up.
You may have killed me today, but I had the pleasure of killing off your species. Not everyone.
Some people just kill for pleasure, and it's just so fucked up.
Stupid concept of honor. Some of us just did it for the pleasure. The pleasure of seeing your world burn.
You animal! You wretch!
But I'm beyond your petty vengeance now, girl.
So we could actually have her give in, but we don't want to. We have to ask her to resist. Don't strike at her, Juhani. Like Juhani, or I mean, fucking KOTOR are very tempted by the dark side many times because they're quick to anger, but they have to resist. They have to resist. This is very important. Otherwise, they're just going down the dark side again. Juhani, I should say.
Just to see them burn, but the treacherous beasts fought back and left me with injuries that meant I could never fight again. Or so they thought.
No, I will not give in to him.
I ended up in the lower city of Taris, and what did I find? A few of those stinking beasts living there. The male was easy enough to best, but the females proved elusive. I didn't know what happened to them after I killed the male. Until I saw this cursed woman on the auction block. But then the Jedi came and ruined everything before I could have my revenge.
You killed my father. You killed my people. You treat us like animals. You deserve to die.
You are stronger than this, Juhani.
Give in and embrace your hate. You are no better than me. You are nothing.
Help me, please. Do not let me give into my anger again.
So this is actually the first time facing off against Jor, like actually exploring this quest. I really want to find out what the dark side path would be end up for Juhani, if she would just all around go to the dark side, or she would just hate your guts if she ended up killing him. I think that would have been really interesting to explore.
That man was a beast, a monster. I am glad that the galaxy is now rid of him, so he...
Apparently when I looked up Juhani Jor, the first thing that came up was bug. Now, interestingly enough, this is actually pretty interesting. If you actually end up killing Jor, or Juhani kills Jor, you would get 1,500 experience points. But if you went down the light side and you resisted Juhani from giving into the dark side and she would stay to the light, she would get 1,800 experience points. So there is more experience points given to people who go down the light side. That is really cool feature. That is really awesome. So you would get some dark side points if you did that. And you do get some light side points if you resist that. So that is a really cool thing. That is pretty awesome. I mean, it shows that going down the light side is more tougher than going down the light side, to resist the temptation of just giving into your anger and all, like these base emotions. Like, it's just, that's pretty powerful. That's actually a really cool thing. That's so tiny, but it says a lot right there. More experience points for the light side user. That is just so cool.
You break their laws. You pay the price, Republic scum. But I can see that you're not man enough to back up your words anyway. If you ever feel like relieving yourself of your...
Now, it would be interesting to see what Juhani would have said if we went down to the next planet after Manan, and see what side she would have picked. Because I think it would have said a lot after, based around this quest, what she will pick from that point on. I think it really would have said a lot.
No, really. I should apologize. Is there anything
and I'll get to that a lot later once we get to that point, because I really want to explore like all the different things that could have happened in that situation. Because I'm going to go down the light side, I'll show you what will happen in the dark side, or tell you guys about it.
Enforce it very strictly. So we just have to sit here and let the Sith insult us, and we can't raise a hand against them. Otherwise, the Republic will face severe KOTOR export restrictions, and that could lose us the... I'm sorry, but everyone knows what KOTOR is. It's the most powerful healing agent in the galaxy. I would have died several times myself if we didn't have... But the reason it's important here is that KOTOR is only found naturally on Manan, and all of our attempts to synthesize... So, we sit here on the surface, the Selkath harvesting what KOTOR bubbles up from the bottom of the ocean. Well, us and the Sith, of course. The Selkath think that by staying neutral, they can play both sides, selling KOTOR to everyone that... Well, that, and they threaten to destroy the only natural source of KOTOR on the planet. But I think they're underestimating the length the Sith will go to get what they want.
So I just wanted to show off the Jor quest and show off this conversation, but I'm going to end this video right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and the next video, we're going to be going more into Manan, and I'll be exploring that a little bit more next time. So, see you guys.